In this video, we counting down the best fantasy movies on Netflix. Let's begin. Number 10, Day Shift.
What are you doing in my room?
Hardworking blue-collar dad just wants to provide a good life for his 8-year-old daughter. His mundane San Fernando Valley pool cleaning job is a front for a real source of income, and that is hunting and killing vampires. As part of an international union of vampire hunters, Jamie Foxx is his butt, a vampire hunter who needs to raise a bunch of cash in a very short amount of time in order to keep his estranged wife and daughter from having to move far away. Now, because vampire fangs are worth money but attempts to work hard, just in order to make the amount that he needs, Day Shift is a 2022 American action-comedy film, directed by J.J. Perry, written by Tyler Tice and Shay Hatton. By the way, if you're watching this with your family on Netflix, this is rated R for strong violence, and gore and language. It's about what you expect from a vampire hunter type of movie. It has wild action scenes, and a cast that is having a great time. Number 9, The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower stars Idris Elba as Roland the Gunslinger, and Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black, and is the story of a young boy named Jay, played by the young actor Tom Taylor, who has dreams and visions of another world in which there's a war going on, and a dark tower that holds the universe together. And when Jake discovers a portal to this world and he runs into the Gunslinger himself, he starts on an adventure to try to destroy the Man in Black, because Roland is on a revenge path leading straight to him. The Dark Tower is a 2017 American science fantasy western action film, directed and written by Nikolai Arcel, based on Stephen King's novel series of the same name. It's a 95 minutes very quick movie. The action sequences are pretty good. There's a lot of really nice stunt work. Some of the special effects is awesome.
I do not kill with my gun. I kill with my heart.
Number 8, Mowgli, 2018.
I've never seen a man cub before.
The story follows the upbringing of the human child Mowgli, raised by a pack of wolves in the jungles of India, as he learns the often harsh rules of the jungle, under the tutelage of a bear named Baloo, and a black panther named Bagheera. Mowgli becomes accepted by the animals of the jungle as one of their own, except for one, the fearsome tiger Shere Khan. But there may be greater dangers lurking in the jungle, as Mowgli comes face to face with his human origins. Mowgli is a 2018 adventure drama film, directed by Andy Serkis, based on stories collected in All the Mowgli Stories by Rudyard Kipling. It received mixed reviews from critics.
How you've grown.
Number 7, R.I.P.D.
Where am I?
You're dead.
R.I.P.D. stars Ryan Reynolds, Jeff Bridges and Kevin Bacon. This movie's about a cop who dies in the line of duty and is recruited by the Rest in Peace department and becomes a partner with Jeff Bridges. These guys basically go around the world and take out guys who are actually dead hiding in a human body. Their job is to figure out who these guys are. They refer to them as dead-os, and then take them out, or at least take them back to custody, so they can actually go to hell where they belong. R.I.P.D. is a 2013 American supernatural action comedy film, directed by Robert Schwentke. The movie tries to use this comedic element, in which the two guys don't actually look like themselves. Jeff Bridges looks like this hot bombshell, and Ryan Reynolds looks like an Asian guy. And this movie has a lot of CGI. This is a perfectly watchable movie. Number 6, Nightbooks.
Where am I?
A boy named Alex, obsessed with scary stories, is trapped by an evil witch in her magical apartment, and he must tell a scary story every night in order to stay alive. When he tells his stories, we get visual representations of them. You can really enjoy the way that those were executed. Alex isn't the only one trapped in the apartment. He meets Yasmin, who's been trapped for a while, but has learned to do what is expected of her in order to survive. There is a cool creature that takes some prominence for an act, and it's designed really well. The movie is 100 minutes long, and was able to hold your attention just as the story would alternate between creepy, then mysterious, and action. Nightbooks is a 2021 American dark fantasy film, directed by David. It is based on the 2018 horror fantasy children's book of the same name. So overall, Nightbooks is a fun story adventure with some good visuals and characters. This movie is meant for family viewers, and there are creepy story elements that allow this to have some weight to the narrative that should provide enjoyment for a wide age range. If you want a fun but dark fairy tale, I suggest you give it a try. Number 5, Afterlife of the Party. A social butterfly dies during her birthday week, and to her surprise she's given a second chance to right her wrongs on Earth by reconnecting with loved ones, and most importantly prove that she's worthy enough to get into that big VIP room in the sky. Victoria Justice and Midori Francis star as Cassie and Lisa. Cassie is the party-planning socialite who happens to die after a night of partying for her birthday week. Lisa is her smart but shy friend, who apparently needs some nudging in her life to get on the road to happiness. Once Cassie dies, she is given a list of people she needs to help in order to move on in the afterlife. She is sort of a guardian angel who instructs her on what she has to do, and gives her tips on how to accomplish the goal. While this is mainly Cassie's story and her job to help those that were in her life, there is also a romantic comedy aspect to the story. The movie is slightly long at 1 hour and 49 minutes. Overall, this is a decently fun story of personal growth, and there's no sex or nudity and no violence. Afterlife of the Party is a 2021 American supernatural comedy film, directed by Stephen Hurrick. Number 4, The Old Guard.
Who are you? You can call me Andy.
Netflix's The Old Guard tells the story of a clandestine group of 4 immortal mercenaries. The group's leader, Charlie Styron's a pathetic and jaded Andy, is so ancient she can't even remember how long she's been alive. It's an intriguing premise, and it allows for plenty of fascinating character work, as we learn about the unique traumas one can develop after living a few too many lifetimes. The movie, based on the graphic novel series of the same name, kicks off when a militarized pharmaceutical company learns of the group's secret and hunts them down, so they can monetize whatever's giving them unnaturally long life. The Old Guard is a 2020 American superhero film, directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. The Old Guard is a run-of-the-mill genre action movie at first glance, that becomes so much more once you dive in. Charlize Theron delivers an excellent performance, as Andy, a hardened, flawed and complicated character, who leads a team of undying mercenaries, each with their own intriguing backstories that go back hundreds of years. The story opens the door to a fascinating mythology of ancient warriors and immortality.
I strongly recommend that we leave right now.
Number 3, Bright.
And you keep doing all your gangster stuff. I'm just trying to sell my house.
The film is set in an alternate present in which elves, humans, fairies, orcs, and dragons all live together in a world that closely resembles ours. Will Smith plays Officer Daryl Ward, who was forced to partner up with the LAPD's first orc policeman Nick Jacoby, played by Joel Edgerton. Smith and Edgerton have excellent chemistry, as the two very different cops must learn to work together in a world that doesn't think orcs and humans should coexist. Max Landis' script feels timely, with issues of race, gender, national pride and police brutality echoing throughout the film. Bright is a 2017 American urban fantasy action film, directed by David Ayer. The fight choreography is fun, especially when the elves join in on the action. Their kicks and flips dazzle on every scene. For the most part, Bright uses practical effects. When the wands are out or their fairies flying around, the special effects are top-notch. Netflix used their $90 million budget to make Bright, if nothing else, a visually striking film, and it has become one of Netflix's most streamed movies ever.
We're in a stolen Toyota Corolla.
Number 2, Dark Shadows.
My name is Barnabas Collins.
This movie about Barnabas Collins, played by Johnny Depp, he was cursed by Eva Green to be immortal, to be a vampire. He was locked underground, and he was buried underground for 200 years before some random construction worker dug him out. And now he's in 1972. He has no idea where he is. He's used to the 1700s. And this is all very strange for him. He wanders into the woods and he finds his old estate. He used to live at this big mansion, and a few members of his remaining family are still there, and he decides to try to rekindle the family business. Dark Shadows is a 2012 epic mystery dark fantasy black comedy film, based on the Gothic television soap opera of the same name. It was directed by Tim Burton. This movie is definitely mismarketed, and you will see a lot of critics who are negatively reviewing the film because they didn't think it was funny enough. That's not the film's fault, that's the trailer's fault. If you watch the trailer, and you go into this movie expecting to be a comedy, it's not 100% comedy. Definitely has humor in it for sure. It's got funny moments, a lot of them, and too many of them are in the trailer. Like, if you're going to watch this movie expecting a straight comedy, you're not going to be happy. Before we unveil number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1, Love and Monsters.
The day of the monster uprising was the day I lost everyone.
In this monster-infested world, Joel learns his girlfriend is just 80 miles away. To make the dangerous journey, Joel discovers his inner hero to be with the girl of his dreams. Love and Monsters is a 2020 American monster adventure film, directed by Michael Matthews. The film stars Dylan O'Brien, Jessica Henwick, Dan Ewing, Michael Rooker, and Ariana Greenblatt. CGI and practical effects in this movie top-notch and high quality. There's something about the way that they're constructed that makes them look more realistic, and they're not hidden in the shadows. It's not nighttime when whenever he encounters these monsters, broad daylight, which normally makes special effects look even worse, but the mix of that and practical effects allows these creatures to really stand out. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, and was nominated for Best Visual Effects at the 93rd Academy Awards.
Oh, that was awesome.